Good morning to all my viewers, wherever you are in this beautiful world, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or wherever overseas. I am back here with you once more at the Argyle International Airport site to bring you the latest update of the work done here at the site over the past week since my last visit. Today is Saturday, the 2nd day of April 2016, and I'm here with you at the southernmost end on the outer side of the fencing, the side to the Stubbs Bay, where they are laying down the PVC conduit and the flex conduit, taking it down to that end of the site where they have the extension where they're going to put the approach lights. I am bringing to you now the development that has taken place here over the past week. Now from where I'm at, not too far from the fencing, I can see down in the distance, down at the end down there, two gentlemen apparently doing some work down there, but I can't say exactly what is taking place until I get closer. I'm back here at the bottom of the site section overlooking the Stubbs Bay, where they're going to put the approach lights, and nothing much was done here since I visited this morning. Actually, I was here this morning. Two guys were here putting up these sidings, and I'm a bit surprised now I come back, and basically what I saw this morning is just what I'm coming back here to see this afternoon. But this is how it goes. They say many hands make light work, two persons doing the work. I guess that's the reason why we didn't have much done here. But I guess by next week when we come back here, we're gonna see some sort of concrete works there, because what is likely to be happening here, they're putting up these sidings to pour concrete here. How they're going to do this, I don't know, but as the work goes on, I will be able to understand better when I visit here week by week. But I just want to give you an idea as to what is happening down here, where we have going to have the lights, the approach lights for the aircraft. I'm here where they have the Makani Hill, and where they are taking down this hillside to bring it down to that level so that we can have the running of the fuel pipes to the fuel farm, and also the erection of the perimeter fencing. Now earlier up we had this yellow drill on top of the hill there. This is one of the old drills, the first set of drills. Remember we had two drills earlier, this yellow one and the white one, and both of them were breaking down quite often, and eventually the IADC had to buy another drill, a second-hand one. But this yellow drill was drilling here earlier up. Apparently it is break time, and the drill is now resting there, but it is working, drilling holes there on the hillside here, this tough piece of rock, to bring down this rock here. Now the hill is almost down. We just have a section at the back of the drill there to come down. So I will say by the middle or the second week, third week in this month, to being the 2nd day of April 2016, we shall see this bankside, this hillside coming down here. Currently we have the trucks being loaded here with dirt taken down from the hill. You know, the material here on the hill, you have stones, dirt, all of them mixed together form part of the hill. And in between there we have another caterpillar plowing into the soft rock there underground, making it enough soft so that the front end loader can take it up and load it in the truck. Whereas on the side here we have this caterpillar doing some works here. They are putting down the final layer of dirt, grading off this area, putting on the topsoil and have it level up. So Not too long from now, all this area over there where we have the stones and the work going on, we will soon have the dirt going all the way across, and then all this area you're looking at here will be grassed, no doubt, in times to come. So this is to give you an idea as to what is taking place. Now you see all ahead of us where you have that green patch, that is where they have already filled to a level grading towards the west, and now when it rains the water will flow through the run through the grass and flow over on the side. Now they are doing similar thing to this area. They are filling up this area. They have already started this side, yeah, as you can see, and now they are preparing to do this side over here. And anytime you see stakes like these here placed alongside anywhere is where they're going to do some sort of work. And as you are seeing now, they're doing the earthworks here. So as the work on the hillside, the Makani Hill, is completed, the filling up of this area with the dirt will continue towards the bank, and all this area now will come to the level of this grass area we're looking at here and sloping towards the west. And so we're gonna have, when the rain comes or when it rains, the water will flow towards the west, where they're gonna have a drain running from the south to the north and entering or ending into the area where we have the breadfruit gutter. Now you see, this is a section of the Makani Hill that is left to come down, the small section there at the back close to the bank there. And right now we have this small area on the hill down there where the guys are drilling into that rock there, and later on in the week we're gonna have some blasting of this rock, and then what we'll have left is that portion up there on the side to take down. And all here on the side on the ground, these massive boulders you're seeing, these came down from that bank side there where we had some hard rocks after the blasting that took place over the past week. I am here on top of the bank side, just below the control tower, looking back on the flat where we have the Alpha Taxiway. Now last week we saw where they had sprayed the asphalt oil on the shoulder area of the taxiway, and I told you that the next stage will be the paving of this area. Already on the taxiway itself, where the aircraft will be traveling on, we have the first layer, and also some of the second layer has already been done. And no pavement work was done here over the past week on the shoulder area. We still also have on the Bravo Taxiway, that's the shoulder area of the taxiway, we still have a section of that to be asphalted, but nothing has been done yet on that area over the past week. Now in the area where we have the brown patch, which no doubt we're going to have some grass, we have up in the far distance where we have the one further up, we have some works going on there where trucks have been loaded with dirt, and as you can see, this blue truck here just brought a truckload of dirt from that area and dump it down here on the side. Apparently what they're doing, they're digging out some sort of trench. I don't know yet for sure because I'm too far from where they're doing the work, so I can't say exactly what is taking place. But all I can tell you from where I'm at, on top of the bank side here, I can see over there work is going on and the trucks are bringing the dirt on the side here. Now last week when I was here, I show you where we have some stakes here on the bank side, and I was trying to figure out if they're going to put the fence in here. But these stakes had gone all the way over there, just overlooking the cargo apron. Now I come back here, there is some sort of work going on here but I cannot say exactly what is really going on. But where you can see that caterpillar, that piece of equipment there on the bank side, what I have noticed, apparently they would have dug out some holes there, and I have noticed the trucks coming from the south coming up. They are bringing up boulders, and as you can see, the equipment is fitting the boulder. There you go, lifting one and packing it into a space there. Over in the far distance we have caterpillars over there just above the bank side where they're doing some earthworks, and I want to believe that they're terracing that area to bring it to look like just this area in front of us here, and make it look one as they go across to link up with the bank side over there, just under the area where we have the fuel farm. So you know there are a lot of dirt there, and there also has to be a drain, the continuation of the drainage coming down from the road to come around the substation there to link up with the one that we have already here to take the water over to the north. So apparently all of this earthwork is to make preparation for that. But this is just what I believe. It doesn't necessarily have to be so, but based on what I'm seeing with the drainage system there, I want to believe that this is what is going to happen. Yeah, that's a Cuban worker going down there. Well, I just asked him about the work that they're doing here, and from what I've gathered, the area over there just overlooking the cargo terminal building, they are terracing it to look just like the bank side we are at. You see how this bank side here looks? Well, they're doing that area overlooking the cargo terminal building, they're doing it to look similar like that. So you see now all the PVC pipe that are taking the runoff water from the roof into this soakaway here. This concrete object there. The water that is coming off from the roof all channel into this soakaway and going down into the earth. This has been a pit they dug there, and I guess this is how they designed it, so the water won't be running on top of the concrete itself, but it's going to be run through those pipes and end up in that concrete structure that is with the hole dug underneath there. But all these pipes have to be run, and in those space where you have those two gates there, apparently you're going to have some sort of ramp or step. Because if you notice where they have the stonework, they have not done any stonework at the bottom, in opposed to right in front of us here where we have stoneworks coming all the way down. And at the other end over here we also have a gate, two gates, a big gate and a small gate. And the stoneworks come flush with the bottom of the gates there. And below, coming right down to the ground there, we have space. And the reason why this work has not been done here as yet is all because of the fact that they have to put in those PVC pipes to take the water that comes off the spouting up there from the roof into the necessary pit down here where they have done. So not too long from now we're going to start see some new work taking place here, now that they would have put in those pipes and making way for the continuation of work that is supposed to be done in this area. What it looks like to me that this caterpillar is doing is opening the trench there, making it soft so that you could have the trench clear up, so that you could have the trench before the continuation of the drainage system that is coming off from the road to link up to that drain just below the bank of the control tower. Whereas on the hill up there, the caterpillar is now pushing the dirt over. They're going to terrace the area to look something like this and to link back with the section that they would have done just below the control tower at the back. Well, the guys who were working on this drainage system and had to move a couple weeks to concentrate on the one up there at the north, they are back here doing the finishing touches. They are continuing with this drain, running the blocks to take the drainage water back over to the north. And they are now about to go on their lunch. It's almost 12 o'clock. These same guys were out at the fire station last week, so now they're back here just in the area where we have this wall running from the cargo terminal building back out to the north there where we have the passenger terminal building. All this bank side no doubt will be coming down to flush with this area here, and it could very well be, and I'm not sure, that the fencing work could be passing on the outside of this wall. I don't know yet. I am just trying to figure out where the fencing is going to pass in this area. But as time progresses, we're going to see exactly what happened with this particular area of the work. You see all this bank side up here. It's going to come down to the level and they're going to fill up there. There's going to be a roadway coming down from up there, from the main road, and coming across towards the cargo building. And this road is also going to link to the emergency access road they're going to have coming in from the terminal building. Now all in front of us here is where they would have done the drainage that the guys are continuing to work on, and this is what it's going to look like, the finishing touches of the drain. When the drain is completed, this is what it's going to do. So in the event that the drain needs to be clean, they can remove all these slabs here. They're just fitted in there, and they're precast slabs done somewhere on the site. They can just remove them, somebody get down into the drain and clean them. All in this brown patch area here is where we're going to have the hangars constructed, but that will be done by a private company. I believe is Mustic Airways, one of them. Okay, so I am going towards the building, the terminal building, as you see it in the distance here. And on the other side of this wall, we have also the same drainage system here like we have. So we have two drainage systems here. So as you could figure out by now, they pay a lot of attention towards the drainage system here on the site, so that when it rains, there is not going to be any problem with flooding. And as it is right now, even before the site is fully completed, the only area where you're seeing pockets of water, those are areas where we have like sinks in the earth where the water will settle. But once they have done the grading of the area and the preparation of those areas, the water runs off very smoothly and nicely into the direction where they want the water to go. So after any shower of rain, you hardly see any water settling up, except in areas like this area here we have looking on the side, because this area is not fully completed. You have the water settling up, but the water that will fall into this drain will flow over to the north end over there into the end. But you will have some settling up over there because the end of the drain is not fully completed, so that the water could go to the direction where it is supposed to go. Now I'm at the high part here of the drainage system, where I can show you the other side of the road where we have also another drainage system here. This is on the outer side of the road, outer side of this wall, and it is in this area up here we are going to have the roadway the emergency roadway. Work on that is yet to be done, and the work will continue. I have learned in the news last evening, after the meeting that the Prime Minister would have had out here with the top officials at the IADC office, that they have given a tentative date to somewhere around the end of June, when we should start seeing some operation here at the Argyle International Airport. Well, actually, that was the date or the month I was looking at. As I come here week after week, I was looking at mid year or sometime in July, when we should start see something happening here. So I guess I was bang on target, and so the official. Let us hope now that this is not just an all fools day trick, as the people probably will say, that you're not giving us another date, and next thing when that time comes, we don't see things happening. Because what happens is that people, when you give them a date, they're holding you to that date, and when they don't see that date, they tend not to trust you when you give another date. But these dates are given based on the amount of work left to be done, and if the guys do the work and they do it well, most likely it shall be finished by then. So you see, all the water that will be running in this drain will be running towards the north here. But there is still yet some work to be done, because you see the water settling up here, and this drain will be going all the way down here. In the distance down there where you see we have that water settling up there, this is the direction where the water will be heading. Right where you see those guys are passing there, it is in this direction, and where you see the stakes that are in place there, the water is going to come from that drain connect and come back and link up with this one and go all the way out towards the north into the 191 channel. Already the guys, as you can see, some sort of work is about to take place here. We already have the sidings here, and no doubt not too long from now we're going to see some sort of work taking place here in this area where they're going to do some concrete work. We already see them start to make the preparation here for that work, as you can see on the side. But it is now lunchtime, and around this time there isn't any work taking place. Everybody is going for their lunch. On the hut up there, the taxi hut, the guys are working on it. They're now putting on the close board for the roof. I am not sure if they're going to do the whole roof close board, or just going to do the eave of the roof. But we're going to watch and see. They already start around the eave. So I will go a little bit closer, because I'm under the apron area just south of the terminal building. So I will go up there a while and see exactly what is going on. So here we are closer to the taxi hut, and the guys are working on it right now. I guess their lunch hour is different to the other guys. This is actually done by a private contractor here on the site, and it is going on quite nicely. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the roof at the hut at E.T. Joshua to make the comparison to this one here. But we had some work done on the roadway, as you can see down there, going around that island, some asphalting work, and all of this area going right back around here, all where you have this drainage works. We're going to have the roadway, and this road will be taking you out to emergency road. This area here is where the general public will be using to get back out of the site. As they come in with the passenger, they come around on the north, come around towards the drop-off point, and then they come around here and head on their way out back to the main road. From the looks of this side, we can safely say that the whole roof will be close board, because you're seeing it actually taking place on this side. Around here we're going to have apparently the toilet and the bath. the tank, the septic tank has already been dug and everything in place. Now you're seeing the lights here for the car park area, the lamps themselves, the fitting for the lamps, those are already in place, and I am not yet sure. So they're supposed to be lighted. I've not been over here during the night to see if that is so, but I don't know what this afternoon, this evening might bring. Probably I might hang around, I don't know. But as you can see, the lamps are in position, and no doubt not too long from now, or they could very well be happening, those lights already working to light this area at night. We are now here at the patch area where the caterpillar, remember when I was on top of the hill up there, I show you a piece of equipment doing some work and the trucks moving the dirt. Apparently what they are doing here on the side is what we have a manhole. So all the runoff water from off the site, off of this dirt area, off of the asphalt area, that will be running into this direction. That water that will not run into the drain behind me will actually run into this manhole here, which is a catchment they have here in front of us. If you notice the catchment, and no doubt this will be covered later on, but what is happening is like a sewage pit where we have the catchment. And if you look closely, you see we have two PVC pipes. Well, these PVC pipes running straight across and exiting into the area where we have the drain on the side. So that the runoff water from this area that flows into this catchment here, when it comes up to the level of the pipe, this water will then flow over into the drain and head down to the north. But what seems to be happening, they are digging out a trench here so that they can have whatever water that will be settling up here, they can have this water being channeled into this trench behind me. So I am not sure if they're going to put stones here that will allow as a soak away. I am not sure how they're going to do it, but this dugout you're seeing here, that is to help to the water that will be flowing in this area, not to settle up and compromise the base of this work, but to flow off freely into the catchment pit that we have just on the side. But this area across here, we had some stones laid, and I don't know what is going on. But in this area, we're going to have grass growing in this brown patch, and on both sides, the side to the apron and the side here, the shoulder side of the runway. This of the taxiway, sorry, the Alpha taxiway. This brown patch here will have green grass, as I told you earlier. And on the outside here, where we have these stones that have not yet been sprayed, we are going to have, this is the shoulder area of the Alpha taxiway. Just like how we have the shoulder on the Bravo taxiway and the Charlie taxiway, this is the shoulder area. But the Alpha taxiway here, where you're seeing this blackness, this is the first coat, and they have already sprayed here to get ready to put on the second coat. But when they're putting on the second coat, they will go straight across on the shoulder area once it's already prepared, because the shoulder area is only going to have one layer of asphalt. That's the reason why you see it is flushing here, so that when they start putting on the asphalt second layer here on the taxiway, they're going to go straight across on the stone area. You probably may not have known, but in this grass area where you're looking at, there is an underground drain right across it that is taking the water right back out. You know where we have the drain connecting out there? It is passing right in this area. So all the water that comes off of the shoulder area, the runway itself, they have channeled this water, because you know when it rains, the water gonna run anyhow. And this is why you have this gully here. You notice these trench dug here to channel the water back into the space that you have right in front here. And this is in this area the underground drain has run, that is linking up to the one over on the north-south, emptying its water into the area of the 191. And all here is a grass area, so they know exactly what they are doing. Here is this water you're seeing here. This is actually water when it rains, the water that runs through the grass here, and the water from off of the runway. They channel it so that it can run towards this grass area, an area that is not being used by the aircrafts, but this area is where we have the drain running underground, and the drain was done a long time ago and covered over. And all on the side here on my right, you're seeing where they have dug a small trench here and put some stones as soak away, and then cover it back so the water will flow into this area and empty itself down into that drain down there. Because you know when it rains, you're going to have a lot of water flowing, and there must be some way for this water to empty its way in the proper channel. And thus the reason why you have some of these trench dug here, taking the water from the side of the runway, the apron, the shoulder area of the runway and the aprons, and emptying this water into this grass area that is going down into a patch down there where you have a manhole. No new development has taken place here yet over the weeks gone since they did this area of concrete works, but I can tell you that there has to be a drainage system, concrete or made of blocks. They have to have a drainage system coming from way up at the car park area there, where they have already started the drainage works, coming down in this area, and this drain will be linking up to the extension of the 191 that we have here, which will take the runoff water from the airport side and the main road through that channel there that we have here. This in front of us, what you're looking at here, is where the water constantly flows coming down from somewhere in that green patch. So they're gonna have to build a drainage system, probably made out of blocks, as they do the one coming up down there from the 191. And when this is done, no doubt they're gonna continue with the works here, with this concrete works coming all the way across. And how they're going to do it, I don't know. But as I look down on the flat down there, I don't know if you can see it. Just behind that tree there, you have a stake planted there, and that was put there by the surveyor. So it's an indication that there's going to be, well, actually there's going to be works actually have to be done here, because we must have the drain to bring the runoff water from the car park down into this area here to the 191. But that work is yet to be done, and we also have this area, and that will be asphalted, that is yet to be done also. And all here, when that drainage system is built, I believe all here will be concreted right across. But now I am trying to figure out how the fencing will work, and most likely where they're going to put the drainage around that edge there, that is the route I believe the fencing is going to take and go all the way back up there. But when that time comes, I will see exactly what happens. But in the meantime, I'm just showing you where we are here regarding the work at the site here for the time being, today Saturday, the 2nd day of April 2016. Here at the northern side, the north of the apron, the commercial apron, where we have the fencing just on the inside of the extension of the 191. You see all the meshes, they are in place, and at the top we already have the barbed wires being put in position. On top of those barbed wires, just in the V of the barbed wires, you have the fork that we have in between the poles. We're going to have the razor wire later on, but you are seeing here where these mesh, they are in place now, and the fencing work on this side of the site, north of the commercial apron, it is heading down alongside this pathway here that we have, and we're going to have an asphalt roadway here later on. All the fencing work here is done. Now this is as far as we have gotten to, and I'm heading northward to see exactly what has taken place up there over the past week. A year ago, all where I'm standing here used to be a gully. I couldn't come and walk from one end to the... If I wanted to cross, I had was to jump over a small drainage system that they had flowing on the side. And I had to climb down a bank side on the side on my left. But today, a year after, this is what we have happening here. We have right on top of, right below me where I'm standing here, is that area where we have the 191 tunnel. The 191 tunnel is where they have two sets of corrugated metal sheeting all the way from this end right where we have the start of this concrete catchment all the way back down to the east, through which the water that is running down from the top up there, that's constant stream, is flowing through here down to the sea. And all this area now you're looking at has been filled and graded off in a particular way so that the water that runs down here will eventually run towards this area where we have the catchment of the 191, and that water flows through those holes that we have here in the 191 extension going all the way up there, and even in front of us here where we have these manholes. The water from off the land here will flow through that hole and through this tunnel that we have here down to the sea. We see in this area over here where the work is not yet fully completed. When it rained yesterday, the water settled up here, but the water is now flowing towards the catchment here and soaking into the catchment area. So a couple of weeks, some months ago, before all of this work was done, this area wasn't looking like this. When it rained, all here used to be soggy and thick, but it has been filled and the water has been channeled to flow into the tunnel there. And now you won't believe that it had rained out here yesterday. This is how dry it is today, in spite of the fact that yesterday around this time so we had rain out here at the Argyle airport site. But this is how quickly the water runs off here at this area. And the drainage system here at the airport site is so very good that in a matter of minutes after it has rained, the water flows directly where it's supposed to go and run off to the sea. This roadway you're looking at here, this is the roadway that coming down to the Argyle Gardens. Now, somewhere up there in the distance, and I don't know if you can see it, but somewhere up there is where we have the road coming in down to the site in this area. Now, not too long from now, they're gonna have to take off this road, and you're not going to see any vehicle coming down in this area in a couple of weeks from now, because this road coming down here will be closed off to all vehicular traffic, and traffic coming towards the site or going to Warwick will now have to use, when this is closed, will be using the access road that they were now building at the north. And I believe they already start putting down the base stones to start the asphalting of that road. But when I get up there, you're going to be able to see what is going on But right now, this is the road that vehicles are using to get to the site and back out. And as soon as the road on the north is completed, this whole area will be taken down and come to the level of what we are seeing right on the side over there. So very soon, not too long from now, probably by now is April, by the end of this month, you're gonna see some significant changes here in this area. The work here on the Petroglyph Hill is still ongoing. As you know, all also we're still on lunch break, so there isn't anything happening here on the hill itself, but they would have done some blasting here in the this week gone here, and now they're removing the stones, the sections of stones from the blasting, being loaded in the trucks and taken to other areas on the site. There isn't any drilling here today. The drilling is being done down there on the south side on the Makonyami Hill, but what is happening here today, they are removing the stones from this hill that they would have blasted over the week gone. We see here they have gotten a little further with the second layer of base stones. As you can see, last time when I look at the point to where they have gotten to further up, and you can see they have laid down some stones here, and we have a line in place already for the laying of more stones. So they are continuing to work here on the area of the 3rd kilometer of the runway. They have already crossed over the 220 with the laying of the base stones, the second layer of the base stones, and they are now on the land area just opposite the area where we have the Petroglyph Hill, laying the base stones going towards the south. All on my right here on the eastern side, we have the steel stakes in position and the line drawn, and later on we're going to have the stone laying machine coming, and as you have seen the operation, the trucks will bring the base stones and dump them, and the stone laying machine will spread them out, and then we'll have the compaction of these stones. We also have on the other side over there to lay down the base stones. We already have the stakes in place, the wooden stakes. In the position of those wooden stakes, we are going to have the steel stakes placed and those wooden stakes removed, and then we're going to have the lines drawn like over here and the stones being laid. But so far they have done this first half, the half towards the east. They have started on this half, going the section that they would have done last week further up where they have put down the base stone. They have done that whole width of the runway, and what will be happening later on down in the weeks coming, we will have them spraying on the asphalt oil, and then we have them putting on some asphalt as they move forward towards the south with the paving and the stoneworks of this area of the runway, linking the north to the south. So we are at the point to where they have gotten to with the second layer of base stone, where they are starting going for the south. You see that they have the stakes here, and the stake with the line drawn. This is to give them the guide as they move southward with the rest of the lane of the base stone on the eastern side of the runway here. As they do this half, go towards the east, and then later on they do the other half going towards the west. Well, they have already done this whole width from where I'm standing here, and as I look across towards the beginning of the Petroglyph Hill, where you're seeing that truck is coming down here, well, a little below where you can see those stakes in the distance over there. Right from that point, go back to the north to where they would have gotten to with the first layer of asphalt. This area is already done, prepared, and all that is left to be done here is the spraying of the asphalt oil, and then the guys will come in and start to lay down the first layer of asphalt. So as they move down with the stone lane section and the second layer, the guys will come in as soon as they finish a particular amount of feet or meters. The guys will come in and start to lay down the asphalt work, and in no time, by the time they finish the complete width here, the length of this area of the runway, by the time they are through, they will be in readiness for the second layer, which will just take a short space of time to complete, because everything would have already been in position, ready to be done. As you can see, there isn't much left, and the part that is holding up the work going for the north-south is actually the area where the vehicles are using coming down from the Argyle Gardens, where you see the truck, that water truck is now passing there. That is the route the vehicles use to get down to the site, and that is the reason why we have the work kind of held up there, because you can't go further down with the work when you have vehicles driving across the area to disrupt the proper functioning of the work going on here. So the concentration now would be on the north road, so that we can have the vehicles using that road to get to the site instead of using this road that they are currently using. We are here at the area where they are going to build the other huts for the Carib village. And last week, the week gone, we had the guys at the airport site clearing this area, preparing the land area for the construction of these huts. Now here we have one, the demarcation here, and we already have the holes dug and stakes surrounding this area where a hut is going to be built. We know earlier up we would have had that first hut up there built, and already on this side overlooking the sea we have two huts, the posts already planted in position here, and this one in front of us here, and another one above up there where we have the posts already planted, and the rafters for the roof system is going up. And just at the far end over there, I can see where they would have already dug holes for another hut. So we have 5 huts in all that are going to be built, one already built, and we have 2 here started, and the holes for 2 already dug. And we look as though on this one here they already started to plant the posts for the erection of this hut here, where they're going to locate the Carib village here on the eastern side of the airport site, east of the exit point where we have the 220 exit. And as I look across over there in the distance, you can see where the 220 area has exited. So these huts are going to be located outside the perimeter fencing of the airport site, here on the eastern side of the river, overlooking the sea area, the Argyle Sea down there at the bottom. Now, I am no engineer, but as I come in this area and I look, I see vehicles traveling along this route. Across here we have the Carib village, so vehicle going to pass in that area. So it tells me that there are going to be a roadway here. Now the road that is coming down from the north is way back out there where we have those stones. What I am looking at here as an ordinary citizen, a layman, and you don't have to agree with me as well as you could agree with me. I am saying that if only we had extended this to 20 to bring it down a little bit more to the edge, making it wide enough to accommodate a 2-lane vehicle, right? So falling outside of the area where we have the fencing. Right now the fencing is coming just at inside the edge of the wall. So let us suppose that we had brought this 220 tunnel a bit further down, the width of a road accommodating 2-lane vehicle, then we would not have had any need to be constructing a bridge down at the end down there. We could have channeled the road, the permanent access road, back in this area, going all the way over there behind the fencing and coming back down just in the area of the 191, linking back up to the old Argyle road and forgetting about the bridge down there. So we would have had a bridge here already, making it easier, and this bridge would have been a stronger bridge, and the fencing now on the inside, the road passing on the outside, and the road coming in from all the way over there. Now remember, I'm not an engineer, but just by looking at how this thing is being done and how the area is located, it could have very well be that way, and thus the road will not be passing close to the sea, but it will be passing more inland, with all this bluff being taken down, giving you a flat area and bringing the road all the way from out there, linking it up to this point here. And then you build up that area down there below with stone, pack it up with stone, and make here one straight area with the road. But I am just a layman, I am not an engineer, but this is just my view as I look at this area. Right? I am here at the northeastern end of the airport site, and this area that I'm now walking on, as you can see, we have had the base stones being laid here on this area to start the preparation work for the asphalting of this roadway. Now earlier up last year, they would have done a small section of the roadway down at the bottom down there, coming up from the slope towards this point just in front of us, has already been asphalted. Now they have laid down the stones here to start the asphalt work. There's supposed to be a slip drain on the side here to allow the water from off the road to flow into that drain that they have built on the inside here. But I don't know if this actually is going to be the width of the road where they're laying down the stones here, or if they're going to carry it all the way over to the end. But this is what I'm seeing here right now, and I want to believe that based on the stones that they've put here, this probably might be the width of the road. But it is not yet for me to say, but I will know as time draw closer, when they start to lay down the asphalting on the road, then I will be able to tell. But it looks to me as if it is the width of the road, but like I've told you, time will tell. But this is what is happening here right now. We would have had the fencing work going towards around the north, and from what I would have seen on some photograph someone else have posted last week, they would have done the fencing area all the way around, because some of the guys who were working on this area with the drainage, they have gone back to where they were working before on that wall just in the area of the cargo apron where they're going to put the emergency roadway. So here we have the stones, and these stones were laid over the past week gone, because as you can recall, I visited here on Saturday and these stones were not here. So who knows, by next week when I come back, I might see asphalting work here on this road. So I'm going around to the north, to the area where this road links to the main road opposite the Argyle Primary School, to see how much of the work that was done there, what was done over the past week. Last week when I passed this area, the guys were just putting down the footing for the concrete works for these fencing. Now we see that the fencing poles are up, the meshes are in, and even the road here, the stones are done. And that all of this took place between last Saturday when I visit and, well, I can say up to today, because the guys are still out there working on the fencing. So this is just to show you the volume of work that has taken place out here on this, the northern end, where they are doing the fencing work and road work. And you can see from here where I'm at, the linkage with the stone way right up to the end. So by next week, hopefully, when I visit here, we shall be seeing some nice smooth asphalt work here on this roadway. But the fencing work continues. The guys are inside. I'm outside now looking in, and they are on the inside on there putting down the fencing. And I'm going to show you how they're going to channel this fencing here from the northwestern side going back inside. I was wondering last week how they're going to do it, but they are working on that portion of it right now. So when I get closer, you're going to have a better idea as to how they are doing this fencing work going back down here from the north on the western side going down towards. The chap you see digging that hole there, he's called himself Lion. There he is digging a hole so that we could plant a pole. Song in the rhymish, eh? Over there in the distance is where we have the Argyle Primary School. And just in front of us, this is the highway, the Windward Highway. Okay? Right here on this side here, this is where the old Argyle Road used to come out. It never used to run all the way back down there. It used to run somewhere in front of us here. Where those guys are there, it used to come down in that area. But this road is going to be linked back up to the Warwick area, and you would have seen now where they have put in the stones, the base stones. And the next thing we're going to have is the laying down of the asphalt work here, and to take this road back round to Warwick. This is the roadway that vehicular traffic will be using to get to Warwick when they close off that area of road, like we spoke about earlier on, coming through the Argyle Gardens and taking you down to the side. So those people coming from the area from below Stubbs and Kingston area, you will have to come, all Collar area, you will have to come a little bit longer wrong as you're going to Peruvian Vale and cut down in this old road. Those who are on foot can walk through the side still and get to that area where you want to go to Warwick. Up here, remember last week I showed you where they have this drainage coming down from the road, and where they had, like, they were going to do some blocks work. It looks as though they have done a catchment here, and most likely when that is filled up, I don't know how it's going to work because they have blocks it up, and I am not seeing any area where water is going to flow through. But I'm going to go closer down so that I can see and give you a better idea as to what is taking place. But this is the drain in front of us here, and this drain is taking the water from off the roadway as it comes down here into this area and flow across. Last week I told you that the water coming down from here will run down into the site down there through the drain that they're building. But as I look at this piece of work here that they would have done, it looks to me as if the water that comes down from here will be flowing through this pipe back over on the road on the eastern side not to the eastern side, the western side of the road, the side towards the school end, and flow back into the drain on my left going down onto the beach, because the fact that they block up here tells me that no water is going to flow out here. And from what I've seen on the other end, it also tells me that this pipe is running the water back out, so because there is no indication of any form of drainage system wrong on that side that is taking the water back to this side, but the drainage that is coming down on the other side of the road is taking the water down into a gully over on the other end and down into the one on the left going down towards the sea. So that is why I come to the conclusion that the water coming down from here, because of the fact that they put this sort of system here, the water will be flowing through there. But further up, before the work was done here, this water coming off, all of it never used to flow through the drain. Some of it used to flow on the side because this area itself was blocked up with dirt and other sediments. So the water was actually flowing down on the side. That's the reason why I believe that they were going to put the drain down here. But from my observation and inspection of the other end of the road, I have seen that the drain exit actually on the other side. So now you're seeing where the fencing would have made its turn, coming down right where those guys are doing the work there. They are putting on the footing for the fencing, and that fencing will be coming all the way down that area to the wall there, and then come across to where that Cuban lady is standing and link up back to that fencing right there. So this is the turn or the position that the fencing will take, that they are doing here right now to complete the fencing of this area. Now back up here, they have already put in some poles here on the western side, and down further down on the north, on the south side, the guys are doing the work on the drain. Somehow it looks as though they would have learned a little bit better lesson, because the way they are doing the fencing down here right now on this side is what they should have done coming in from the south down there, where they would have started. Now lower down at the Makonyami Hill, what they would have done on the outer drain where the blocks are, they put the fencing in between the blocks. The same way they run in the blocks. The thing is that when they run the blocks, they leave out a space, and where they left that space out, they put the poles for the fencing. Down at the south end down there where they started the fencing, they should have done the same thing, put the fencing in line with the pole, and it would have been easier, because getting the fencing on the outer side of the pole is a kind of bit difficult right now. But from here, where they do this blocks work, from here, I don't know if it's going right back down or they just doing in this area. They have planted the poles in line the same with where the blocks are run. The poles are between the blocks and concrete into the blocks, and then the fencing will be running right on that outer wall that forms the drain. So you're seeing the work up here, and I'm at the northwestern side. I'm on the bank side overlooking the site, as you can see, and all that area over there, the fencing, most of it has been done. By the time we visit here next week, Saturday, if God spare life, all of this area will be completed now, and the guys with the fencing work no doubt will be somewhere else. Now down here on the flat where the drain has not been done as yet, we're seeing the guys, they're laying down the steel matting, and I guess not too long from now we'll have the concrete pouring here to keep this steel in position, and we just have a small portion of blocks work left to be done in this area, and followed by the fencing work. So I will give or take by the third week in this month we should see all the fencing work in this area completed, based on the rate of which the guys are working. All of this work will be completed. Now we are here on the western side of the site, northwest, where the guys are continuing the drainage work here. They're running the blocks, and what apparently they're trying to do is to get as much blocks on the base so that they could have the water flowing, because when it rains out here, the water from off the side flow into the area where no blocks are being run as yet, and create a problem for them later on. So they're trying to see how much blocks they can get to put up on the first few rows as they walk towards the north with this blocks work. Now all this area where the fencing is supposed to pass, you remember earlier I told you that they could have been doing this, they could have done this fencing work the way that they are doing it, done a part of it up at the north there, and section of it down at the south at the Makani Hill. Now right on this wall here, they could have run the fencing in line with the wall and not on the outer side, because what is happening right now, because they had to dig a trench here to get the drainage system, there's a lot of space on both sides, especially on the outer side where the fencing is going, and to drill the holes is kind of problematic because this area also is a rocky area. So if they had put the fence in the blocks, it would have avoided them all of this set of work here, having to drill the hole with all this set of work here to put in the poles. Apparently, what I think they should have done is to fill back up this area up to the wall itself, and then start look to drill the holes to see if they could get a better drilling of the hole here in this area. But I am not actually an engineer, and I am only speaking as a layman. But even though you're not an engineer, we all have ideas how things can be done. But we see in here this area where they're doing the fencing, and I don't know if they're going to continue along this pathway with the fence. Most likely they would, and going back all the way up there. But we'll watch and see what happens as they continue with this work here on this side. So it is about 2:45 right now, and the guys are no doubt going to have their snack break as usual around this time here at the site. Here at the western side of the site where they're putting down, where they're actually doing the concrete works now, in those boxing for the footing of the poles. They're actually pouring the concrete right now. As I speak with you, we have the concrete truck here pouring the concrete works on the footing of the fencing work, heading down towards the south side towards the 220. This is as far as where they have gotten to with the fencing poles, and I can see stakes going all the way down to a certain point from where I'm standing here. And when I get in that area, I'm going to show you exactly what has taken place down here. But this is what is happening here right now. regarding the concrete works at the footing of the poles here that form the fencing on this, the western side and the north. Just in that area where we had that shed, where they were doing it as a storeroom on the bank side. Just up there we have the roadway, all in this area, so you'll have an idea as to where I'm talking about on this side. And this fencing is linking up to that which would have been done all the way up, heading up towards the north. Last week we were here looking at what they had here at the time, and now you see that from what we are seeing here, it looks as though that here is where the drainage starts and flowing back towards the north. I am not sure if they're going to have any drainage system flowing towards the south. It doesn't look so, but last week I thought that would have been the idea, but it looks as though here is where the drainage system is going to start from, flowing towards the north. And as they come towards the south with the stakes for the fencing, I see all the way along here they have already put stakes in place, as you can see, where they're going to put down the holes for the fencing here in this position. We already have a hole dug here, and all the way up there we have the fencing. Now I am not yet sure how it's going to run in this area, because we have a number of steels planted down here, and from all of these steels that I'm seeing down here and the wooden stakes, I was of the impression that the drainage system here was going to come all the way down here and probably flow into the river, but I am still yet to see that, and I'm not sure what will transpire here, but I know for a fact that the fencing has to come in this area. I'm going to travel further towards the 220 to see exactly what is taking place down there. But even though I do not understand just yet how this drainage or how this fencing is going to pass, as I come here week after week, I will see the work unfold before my very eyes, so I don't really have to worry that much. But all I have to do is just to look and see what is happening here, and to try to figure out how the fencing is going to pass, and if in fact they are going to put any drainage system here. Because where we are seeing these wooden stakes just in front of us here, this wooden stake, and if I were to turn around and look at the wooden stakes and just span the camera right up to where they have the drainage up there, it will give you a straight line to the center of the drain if I were to look at these stakes. So it's based on those stakes I'm seeing here, which caused me to believe, those wooden stakes actually, which caused me to believe that the drain is going to come down here to take the water into the area of the river down there. Because when it rains, water flows down off of that bank, water from off the sides flows down here. And if you look right in front of us here, you see where they would have dug a channel there so that the water can go towards the river. So it's based on that why I said last week that they probably will put a drainage here in this area, but I am not quite sure as yet. But as time goes by, we will see exactly what transpires. Now I'm on the north side of the northwestern side of Petroglyph Hill, and looking back towards the northwestern side where they have the fencing. Right in front of me here I am seeing a stake, which no doubt is running in line with those stakes that we just saw on the flat down there in the area coming towards the 220. Now I want to believe that this is the direction where the fencing is going to run, and all the way behind me, if I turn with you, and here in front of us we have the stake right here looking at. So I'm going to come just in the position of the stake, right behind the stake, and I'm going to pan the camera right up. So if in fact the fencing is coming along this area, it will be all on top here, and this is the back of the petroglyph hill the fencing will be passing. All this area here going towards the east, as you overlook the bank side down below, probably will have to come down a little bit lower. And as I stand where I'm standing here, I can see the control tower right there on the hillside over there. So I am not sure as yet how much of this hillside they're going to take down, but I can see indication of holes being drilled here on this hillside that they are going to do some blasting here in the week coming. On the flat down there on the runway itself, the guys are putting in the steel stakes on that side of the runway that we saw earlier up, where I told you where the wooden stakes are. They're going to put up some steel stakes. Well, they're actually putting up some steel stakes there now in those positions, and the stone laying machine is actually on site there. So probably later, it wouldn't come there unless they're going to do some stone laying works. So probably later on, as the evening gets cooler, we'll start see some stones being dumped there, and they continue with this aspect of the laying of the stones here on this part of the runway. I'm here in the area where we have the aircraft and firefighting station, and they're actually doing some preparation works here, and for what is to come later, which I believe is concrete works. As you can see, all the stakes here put in place. They are digging up this earth area here to prepare this area for the laying down of the base stones that will form the foundation for the concrete works to be done here. Here you have a grader grading off the stones dumped there by the trucks, and compacting machine somewhere in the back there that has been doing the compaction here in this area. So not too long from now, we're going to see some sort of concrete works being done here in this area where we have the aircraft and firefighting station. I am top of the hill here, the Makonyami Hill itself, the area where they are taking now. There on the flat, you see where they would have gotten to. The caterpillars have moved away the dirt there, and not too long from now we'll have the trucks coming and loaded with these dirt. Now this section of the hill where I'm still standing, all of this area has to come down in order for the fencing to pass and the fuel pipes that will be heading down to the stubs bin. The drill is just below this bank side here, drilling holes still, and a lower piece on the side down the bottom as you have seen earlier, and the drill is now penetrating its drill into those rocks where they're going to put the explosive later on. And next week, God's willing, from Monday go back, they're going to do some blasting of that section of the hill right in front of us right here. As you're looking, you see the drill there, and all that powdery substance you're seeing is where the drill has actually drilled holes to put the explosive, where they're going to do some blasting last week. And this is the yellow drill, one of the drills that used to break down. The last one that they bought is over at the stone crushing plant somewhere over there, parked up, and I am not quite sure if it is working or if it has broken down, but it's over there, and the yellow one is doing the work. So all in front of us, all where I'm standing right here, has to come down, going all the way back to the bank side there, but it is not much. All what you're looking at here is just dirt to be removed from here to level off this area. And in the distance down there where you see in that piece of equipment, what is actually happening right there, all that area has already been done. So the truck, they're bringing dirt from way back up northeast of the 191, in that area where you see the caterpillar removing the dirt, loading trucks with dirt earlier up in that area where the area of the 191 are being north of the 91 on the eastern side. Those dirt are being brought down here and dumped on the side there, and they are filling up this area. As they complete this area with the work, they are filling it up so that when it rains, the water will not settle up there but run off to the end. So this is actually what is happening now. Later on this afternoon, you will find another group of workers coming here and starting to do the removal of these dirt. These dirt that you're seeing here, they mix with stone and other things, will be dumped over on the foothill over there in the back where they are leveling it out. So this is about what you have here on the Makonyami Hill, as I about to end my tour here at the airport site. But this is the section of the hill here now that the guys are drilling into the rocks here to bring it down, and you see it has come down quite a lot, and what you're looking at here right now is the rest that is left to be taken down from here. Go back just a little bit way in the back there to be taken down. So by the third week in this month, let's say the next 2 Saturdays time I come back here, we should at least see some improvement here in this hill, and most of it coming down. I am here on the hill, the Makonyami Hill, south of the hill. As I make my way out, happen to see these stakes being planted here, and I know whenever I see stakes like these planted anywhere, it's an indication that there is going to be some sort of work taking place. This morning when I passed it, I didn't notice these stakes, but now I'm heading all the way out. I am seeing them here being placed in this position, and some of them gone all the way up on the bank up there. But I was up there this morning, as I normally start my visit when I come to the site from on top of the hill, and did not notice these stakes here. But I'm going to take a trip up on top the hill to see actually where they have ended. This work was actually done after I passed here this morning. I say so because if it was here this morning when I had passed, I would have seen them. Now all on top the bank up there, as you can see, we have stakes, and I am trying to figure out what is going on. It could very well be that the road is going to pass in this area. And why am I saying this? Coming on the site this morning, out at the main road, I would have seen some stakes placed at a certain point just below the building of the Casablanca area, and I know it is somewhere in that area the road is going to come in. I wasn't too sure because I did not know exactly who planted the poles there, the stakes there, but as I see these, I'm trying to figure out if actually this is the route the road is going to take. But what I will do, I will go up on the bank side there and get a view of what is going on the other side of the bank so that I can give you a better idea as to what is taking place. Now I am on top of the bank looking back down on the site below me, and here just in front of us we have a stake, and going down over there in that area of land we also have stakes. Now if in fact the road is going to pass in this area, and I'm not too sure, the road will be coming in somewhere in that area where you have that unpainted building just in the bushes there where you have those coconut trees, somewhere in that area coming over to this bank side and cutting down somewhere here and going down to the flat. But I don't know yet for sure if that is going to be the route of the road. But I can tell you I've seen further back on the area out there at the roadway, we have some stakes also in the road, and you can see where the stakes are going down towards the flat down there on the side. Now these stakes are indication that there is going to be some sort of earthworks taking place here not too long from now. So I guess by next week when we visit here we might see something new happening right across this area on the southwestern side of the Makoni-Yami Hill, overlooking the area of the airport on the south. All below down there on the flat we have the stakes. So hopefully next week we might see something. If I am correct, it will be in this area the road will be passing. And as you can see down there on the side, we have stakes there, and somewhere in the grass area there we have another one, and you come all the way back down here to the end there we have another stake. And this area is located here. We have the Casablanca building, old building, and here is called the C&R supermarket. This is the landmark here, C&R supermarket. And that little gap there on your left, right there where the jeep is passing, that is the gap to go up to the Montauk Methodist Church. And all in the back behind me is where we have the probably the home for the minister. So if the road is going to pass here, then it's going down in that area and over to the bank side where I just came from a while ago, showing you where those stakes are over there on the hillside, somewhere in the vicinity over there on the bank. There you can see one of them right there in the view. Right in that area we probably will be having the road passing, and which will make sense because the vehicle has to clear the corner. There's a corner right down there, so you have to clear the corner in order to have a good view of the traffic before you can cross over on the other side. So this is the general area where you're going to cross over, but this road is still yet to be built, so you're going to have to wait a while before you see it actually into being. That is the corner down there, and naturally if you put a turn off anywhere down there where that van is, then you know you're going to have a problem. So you have to come somewhere in that area right there between this Casablanca building and that old structure that we have down there on our right. So this is about it. I have already ended my visit here, but I know what I will do to put things into sequence. So I am back here on the main road and I'm heading on my way out back to my home until another week here at the Argyle International Airport site, and that is the C&R supermarket up there, landmark. So for those of you who don't know exactly where, when you're coming this area, before you reach the C&R supermarket, before you reach this building, Casablanca, that space between the Casablanca building and that old abandoned building, after you pass the corner, right where you see this vehicles passing, that is the area there where they're going to, hopefully, I believe, pass the road based on the stakes that we see already planted there by the surveyors. Well, we have some dark clouds coming this way, and no doubt probably might have rain in some areas tonight, but the sun down here on the southern side of the runway, as the sun go over to the west and shine back here on the east. Now naturally I'm down at the south side of the runway. I am making my way out from here now, and I just want to thank you for your support. Thank you for week after week looking forward for these videos. I have met a number of persons who sometimes when they hear my voice, they recognize where I am based on the fact that I put up these videos on YouTube and they look at them week after week. So I just want to thank you all for continuing to look forward for these updates from the Argyle International Airport, and I just want to take this moment to say thank you for your support, and thank you for everything else, that all those encouragement that I've gotten from time to time. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy this weekend's viewing of the progress of the work here at the airport site. Today, Saturday, the 2nd day of April 2016, as I end my tour here for another Saturday. Wishing you all the best for this week coming, and looking forward to join you next Saturday, which will be the 9th, and when I come back here to bring another weekend's update of the progress of the work over the past week here at the Argyle International Airport site. Until such time, I am signing out. My name is Sidney Morgan, and see you next Saturday.